Oh, you guys can't get up. Sorry.
Nice flag, man.
Yo, yeah. Yeah, he said he's going to turn me in.
Yo, yo.
Hi. I saw your note. That's fine.
Yeah, I've been trying to catch some sleep. I didn't find out till 3 o'clock that I got to work the night shift. So, ah, yeah, and plus, then I got a union meeting at 6:30 a.m. So, great 12 hours of vacation.
Yeah.
We'll get her done though.
Yeah. Oh. I started it like a minute early, so we'll see how it goes. But oh, there's Scotchka.
Yeah, it was another space, but it was like super interesting. The other Ludo was talking about like French Russian relations, and they're
Oh,
like I didn't realize they're in Europe. They're like they see we're being friendlier with Russia, and they're really talking about military buildup and stuff like that. Whereas in the past they would just basically rely on us. I was unaware.
yeah.
It's
Well, it makes sense. Their memory of Russia is very different, right?
Yeah. I mean,
But
you had like a huge chunk of the population of Russia trying to get to Western Europe,
yeah,
and it was they made it as difficult as possible. But like this, I'm sure this. I don't, you don't hear a lot of ex-Soviet. I should say the Soviet Union. You don't hear a lot of ex-Soviets. Great stories.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fellas.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo,
All right.
yo, yeah.
We got everybody, and since Bogan's on a time crunch, which is totally normal, figured we'd go ahead and get started. This is the call to order. We've got did Fury, can you give me like I know it's Fury's sister, but Fury, would you give me like a thumbs up if you're recording stuff already? I don't think we were able to add the bear bot, which I think we needed. I don't know how to do that. Bagman, you know how to do that shit? Oh, he's
Looks
there.
like it's
Good.
there.
Good. Awesome. Good. All right. So this is the call to order of council meeting November 10th. It's just after 6:30 PST. I don't know that we have minutes from the previous meeting. Opening remarks. I think like it's important to kind of point out that that Voy has continued to do some great stuff this week. We've gotten closer to the launch of Dorkify. I know that House of Voy is making progress and also has some travel plans in the near future. I know that the team is meeting up to get Sweenard um, down in wherever that is. So that's pretty cool. I see Zarmian's here, which is great. Zarmian released a tool, and Shelly, I think, also was a part of that. Released a tool that will identify the best route for trades between dexes. So it's kind of like a nice little dex aggregator tool. Um, And just in general, I'm pleased to see that the community continues to be, here and involved and interested in what's happening. Because that's what it's going to take to get us to that kind of next level after we have these products launch. So those are my remarks. Um, On to the communications and announcements. The Telegram portion of this is being removed. We don't have a Telegram anymore. It's just pointing here. Discord, I was just going to point out, we still have kind of lower engagement, but we do have quite a number of proposals coming in, including the one from Coop, which we're going to get to in the next portion. And that's actually the next bullet point. So Coop applied for the kind of like marketing role, the role that would incorporate um, the X account and other such things. And from my perspective, his ask wasn't like wild. It was a pretty good ask, especially considering that the total amount was over a full year. But we can get into that as we get into the next little area. And then I don't believe we got a network report from Fury. He did message me this morning and let me know that he was ill. So his account is here, but he's currently absent, so that's fine. Frankly, from my perspective, we still need to nail down exactly what that kind of like one-page document of network report should look like, and that's maybe on me. I need to take a look at exactly what we would really want to receive and ask for your input on what we want to receive before we start kind of like getting deeper into that stuff. The next thing on the list is the grant release, Skochka. I know you took a look at that. This was essentially just the release of funds from Shelley. I believe this is something we all voted on. Did we all vote on this already?
Yeah.
Yes,
think so.
I was the
So, yeah.
last one. I was the last one this morning, so it's got 5 yes votes.
Okay, so is there yeah, fantastic. Is there a next step, Nuss, or can we kind of consider this one to be passed?
Yeah, I think EZK takes it from here.
Okay,
And he and me wanted to know. I can't remember what it was now. Something this morning. But I sent him the link to it. So
okay, sounds good. The council voting platform, I think, is one that we should have some time to discuss during this meeting, but maybe we could skip down to the Coop one really fast because that one's a little bit more straightforward. The Coop one, has anybody first of all had a chance to kind of check it over a little bit more?
Yeah, I read it over this morning.
If
Great.
if anybody's upset about the title, that's my fault. In a briefing that I gave him with Bagman and Yayo, I basically made the joke that Voy was like Timu Algorand, and that we were looking for a way to boost it up to good. What's the fucking joke? The good value, you know. The CTO good value.
So
That
more
was great.
from Dollar General to like Ross.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yeah, I guess
that was
so. I read it this morning, but now that I'm re-looking at it again, I was a little off on the budget request for this one. So is he asking for 3 month? This is only for 3 months, and then this cost 3 installments. So each month he's asking for 3,600 or 3,200. Excuse me.
I'll have to reread it. I did mention to him that he needs to convert it into Voy and take a look at Nuss's comments. But I believe what this was an effort to break it down into 3-month increments. so that people could get a good sense of what was going on and like essentially vote to renew, as opposed to vote it all at once and kind of be locked in.
Right, so the
But yeah,
initial is gonna be 3 months, and then I guess it just needs to be a little more clear what he's asking for the 3 month
it
based on,
looks, it reads like what you said. Was it 3,200?
yeah, so because of the 3 monthly installments, so he's asking for 1,200 USDC, $1,200 in VOI, and then 800 in VOI unlocked each
Because
month.
the total comes down to a
Yeah,
little bit.
96, but for 3 months, okay. I thought that was gonna be the breakdown was gonna be for the whole 3 months, I guess, when I first read it, so a little higher than I had initially thought, but I mean, it's an area we need help,
So
so
it is what, about 30
it'll be
million a
30.
year.
I
It's
think I think it's also worth like, I mean, he's also not unreasonable, but he also is somebody who wants to he also knows, we talked in our conversation with him, he understands that a lot of the initial work to get this going is to establish a brand voice and all that kind of stuff and to do that extra work kind of up front. So one thing that we can kind of ask him for is to spread this over a full year instead of 9 months. Um, but make it like basically 4 months instead of three. But just keep in mind that he's aware, and I think we're all aware that if you're going to establish a good quality like brand voice and kind of and a routine for posting and all that kind of stuff, it's going to happen in the early part, and then you're going to kind of be on autopilot after it starts to work out. So I think that there's a little bit of wiggle room, but from my perspective, if we were at 10,000 for a full year with somebody who was doing a good job, that would be preferable to especially the kind of marketing situation we were in prior. I forget what the total amount was, but it was clear that they weren't reaching anybody.
I guess if it's 10,000 for the year, that's
It's a lot better.
yeah, that's yeah, we'll have to get him to clarify. So it just said 3 monthly installments of, it says total cost
It says,
9,600.
yeah, it
So
says the total cost there, and that's over. It's stated 9 months, so I wouldn't expect that we would find anything.
No, it says 3 months on the one I'm looking at. That's why I
yeah,
had the concern. So he's asking for 9,600 for a 3 month agreement based on what I'm reading.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
that's
check
what
it
I
out.
read too.
we may not have enough voy at the end of this to.
It's more than what the other our voting is. The voting retro from Bagman and Shelley.
Yeah. Budget. 3 monthly installments of no, but it's 3 monthly installments of 1,200 USDC, $1,200 worth of VOI, and $800 worth of VOI. So
Are we,
three installments of
doesn't,
that.
on yours, does it say 3 month agreement right above 3 monthly installments of? Because the one I'm
Yeah,
looking at,
yeah,
Yeah.
it says that. But you could do the 24, 36.
It does say
For-
total 96.
Let's not like try to figure it out. Let's just ask him. But when it says well, no, you're right. That could be per month. It could be 3 monthly installments of 3,600 or whatever that is.
yeah, because down farther on his sustainability plan, it says
Yeah.
would be happy to negotiate new agreement after the first 3 months. So I'm assuming this proposal is for 3 months.
So okay. Yeah, you're probably right then. I would say that is quite a bit. I would also say that like we talked about earlier, or like I mentioned earlier, he feels like the majority of the work in getting this started is going to be in those first 3 months. And so we should just have like a candid conversation about what he feels like subsequent months are going to look like.
Yep. No, I think the work is definitely needed for sure. I mean, we need a boost. We need
Yeah.
to get some traction going.
And frankly, if he does his job well, you know, the largest possible value for the ecosystem right now would be to just have additional people in it, whether it's through the efforts of projects or from the efforts of marketing. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I think that's the question to ask. I'm happy to reach out and ask him some more questions, but I do think that it might be beneficial to get additional council members involved in the Q&A. So that probably could happen just in the comments section. Just say, hey, this is what we talked about. We realize that there's upfront work involved, but what would subsequent months look like? I think that would be helpful.
Yep.
He definitely needs to hit. So it looks like it'd be. I don't know why it has the 1,200 USDC, but
He's supposed to change all of that to void. I
Yeah.
told him there's no USDC available.
but I'm guessing that would be immediate vesting, $1,200 worth, and then he has a 1,200 for 12-month vesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's another area that we could say, hey,
yeah, maybe more lockup, because nothing would incentivize him more than having locked void.
right.
I mean, obviously he's not going to do it for where we promised to pay you 24 months down the road, but
Right. Yeah.
some compromise. Now I see there's $800 worth of void for use in the ecosystem as part of the ask, and that's be nice to a little more clarification on that, but I'm assuming for giveaways and things like that. Sounds great to me if that's what it is.
I feel like it's going to be like giveaway, marketing kind of incentive stuff. Right? But
Yep.
yes,
You could
should
buy
ask.
some NFTs or something and give them away too, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that.
that's. I mean, we've seen how giveaways just pull people in from out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So
Well, from my perspective, that should be done in a sense that it's like um, as like community building as possible, as opposed to giveaways for the sake of finding somebody who wants to like dump it later.
yeah, that's why.
So,
Yeah, like yeah, like I thought the NFT idea, things like that.
Yeah.
You
Although
can give
people
away
could try to dump
staking
those.
contracts. Staking contracts.
Yeah, it could be locked. It could be who knows, right?
Yeah.
We'll fund your node on a staking contract.
We can use the
I'm
grant
sure he'll
code.
come. Yeah, I'm sure he'll come up with some good ideas. So he's been around, did a real good job on Algorand with Coop and all that. So
Yeah. I think it's just one of those things where we say, here's the questions that came up, what do you think about them? And then just let him take it from there. There's no reason to like suppose or whatever upfront if he's going to be able to answer the questions.
yeah, I
And
mean, could we sit down with the whole board too, maybe, and just have a little quick meeting at some point,
Yeah, I
or
think so.
whoever can make it?
yeah,
He was available. He hung out with me and Bagman and Yayo for a while. So
I don't have much interaction with Coop.
Yeah, maybe just ask him on that proposal when he can meet with everybody, and then everybody just or give him some times that you're available, and everybody agree on a time now on our chat, and then
Yeah.
post it there and say, "Hey, all of us are available on these times. Can you meet?"
Yep. Cool. I think we're good there. Like I said, best possible situation here would be for you guys to just ask the questions in the thread. And then yes, I'll be available to meet whenever we have time. Next one would be Bagman's proposal for the voting platform. Bagman, are you around and would you like to just get up and kind of answer some questions, or do you want to discuss first, or what do you guys want to do?
Well, Nelson and I did have a meeting with Bagman. Um, he had a hard stop, so we did have some good discussion for about 40 minutes. Um, he came in with a reduced ask of 10 million, and we at that point wanted to just have some further discussion with the whole council.
Okay.
I went over my due diligence with Bagman as well, and that's kind of where it left off.
Cool. Bagman, welcome. Hey. Yeah, so I don't know, let's figure out how we're gonna kind of craft this process. I think I'll just start by saying that it sounds like the the kind of the breakdown is between, this being retroactive funding just for the voting platform, and then the kind of concept that the majority of the platform code can be used in the future for on-chain governance. Do you want to just kind of clarify that stuff, and then we can kind of take it from there? Oh, you're real quiet for me. Is he quiet for everybody else?
Same here.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
quiet.
No. Okay. You're very, very, very quiet. I can't even hear the words. I
Sounds
know you're
like we
talking.
can only hear your TV in the background and not you.
He's gonna try it again. Anybody else have any thoughts about the kind of general gist of
Well,
this?
I'm my thoughts overall is that I was very just I got some remarks that it was kind of a brutal assessment. I was real disappointed that out of 500 accounts online that we only ended up with 32 accounts voting, and that's
Yeah.
the biggest reason for my critique on it. And the second point that I have is I think it should all be rolled into one, with the one being built, um, and the first vote here should kind of all be rolled into one. I'm not opposed to paying a decent amount for this whole package because it is. If we build something fantastic, we might be using this for 20 years to come. 15 years. I understand the importance. Um, I just feel like separating them is kind of shooting ourselves in the foot with the really high cost of the the work was great. The performance of the voting was poor. That's where I'm kind of at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think you can put that on the developers, right? That's participation. That's people wanting to come out and actually vote and do it.
Yeah.
What we can put on them is putting the 50K void stake on it, right? Maybe that's
Right. All of that stuff kind of led to the poor performance, I think, because I know there's a lot of people I talked to that didn't want to they didn't pull anything off their node, so they didn't stake anything and didn't vote. You know. Also, I had comments that they couldn't connect with Cabesis, so they didn't bother. They didn't bother importing their account to loot and voting. You know. So a lot of those decisions led to a poor turnout.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not criticizing how. I mean, it worked good aside from the time lock being a little delayed. Um, the voting was functional. You know, the Envoy stuff being integrated was nice. But I think on the same note, they're using the same code to build upon for this larger platform. That's why I feel it should be rolled together.
Yeah, it's kind of like I mean, it's a governance portal. It's like the backbone. I mean, that's what, if we don't have it, we don't really have a governance portal. But
Right.
yeah,
Oh,
I'll say,
I
I
mean,
agree.
if you look at the okay, if you look at what they submitted, they will build everything out. It's just that's the price that we got was the 17 million, right? That was for everything. So you can't say I want you to build me everything, but I want it cheap, right?
well,
You
it's a
can't.
retroactive grant. So with the assumption there'd be a future build grant, and I would say the value to the ecosystem for a council voting platform is one thing, and then the value from an overall governance platform that can be used for multiple purposes is like much
But,
higher. So
but I think we might be looking at this a little bit wrong, though. And maybe I misunderstood, but from what I saw and what was presented was we want a retro grant, yes, for what we already did, but this will also cover the additional stuff that we're already working on to be added on with the 17 million. Unless I misunderstood, and it's going to be retro for the 17 plus an additional build on top of that.
Yeah, that's what I got out of the meeting that we had.
I think it's gonna be, the Bagman's here, you can talk for yourself.
Yeah, it is supposed to be two separate. We didn't want to roll it all into one, and yeah, I can admit this 17 million is a steep price. At the end of the day, really, we wanted to separate the two just because it's kind of two different bodies of work, if you will. Yes, there's some elements of the code that's being reused, but there's much more effort that needs to go into the build side of things. And it's going to take a decent amount of effort from your guys' side as well. And that's where, like, what I had said earlier, we're still open to discussing values and stuff. And I messaged Nuss and Bogan earlier to just like, what do you guys think that the general build out for the platform is altogether? Like what it would be helpful for us as well to know, like, how high of a priority is it for you guys? How quickly do you want this thing shipped? Like, how much detailed and bells and whistles do you want to have included in the full build itself? And I think the gauging off of the current price of oil is obviously not the way to go for the previous build out. But I think the point was that this is super, all of it, all inclusive, retro and future forward looking builder grant. It's a hefty project, and before we commit to doing even a build, we want to know that it's a priority for you guys, that it's something that you're looking to spend time helping us in the development as well. And there's more to it than just like, all right, we spun up the first half, and I wouldn't even call it the first half. We proved the concept out, um and you know open to negotiation on what you guys thought it was worth previously. And Bogan has some good points. You know, there were design choices that we made, you know, kind of early on, and I think that at the end of the day, the outcome was a new council officially, you know, on chain, decentralized voting, and you know, I think that we just want to know that you guys are committed, um, and if not, totally understand if it's not a priority, and you know, we can work on other things, and then come back and try to build in the future when it is a greater need. Um,
So I have a question for you.
mhm.
What's going to be more priority for you and Shelly? This or Dorkfy?
Well, obviously, DorkFi is the top priority. Um,
That's fine. I understand that. That's why I'm asking, right?
yeah, no,
So
Because if I can't tell you, hey, this is the number one priority for us. We want it rolled out in January because I know that's not going to happen, right?
yeah, at this point, yeah, it wouldn't happen before the end of the
Yeah.
year. No,
Well,
But also,
January is the new year, though, buddy.
no, I
Well,
know.
you know what I'm
Uh,
saying. I know
Yeah,
what
I
you're
know.
saying. So,
I know
but
exactly what you're
that's why
saying.
I'm asking, right? So, like, I don't want to say, yeah, it's a priority, and we want something by X date when we all know that Dorkfy is going to be a priority for you and Shelly, right? Personally, if you want my opinion as a community member, I don't think we need it right now. You know, I'm thankful that we had it, and I think it was good to have, but I don't think it was needed, just to be honest with you. You know?
Yeah. For me as a council member, I do think it's needed. I don't think it's an emergency priority, but I really like the idea of having like a two-sided thing, one where we can do future, elections for council, and then also, governance voting for us on proposals on
I,
chain. Yeah, I think that'd be great.
I agree with that. As a council
I,
member, yes, it's needed. As a community member, like looking at it, me not being in this chair, I don't think it's needed. If I'm Joe Blow just buying NFTs and buying fucking meme coins, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like
Yep,
I don't care how
good
people get
point.
on these boards.
We don't have meme coins or NFTs really too much for sale here
Nuss, you know what I'm
right
saying,
now.
bro. Come on, man.
Yeah. I
hey
know what you're
hey
saying.
hey Nuss, I just bought like 7 NFTs earlier today. Come on.
Nice. All right.
No, I kind of I somewhat agree with Yayo on the casual community member doesn't seem to care. Well, I mean, wouldn't really care. I'm just thinking of my experience on other chains, but there is a point when it's like, does this chain have certain like basic ecosystem things? I see how serious of a chain it is.
Bro,
Like
32 people cared.
that's true. Well, that's for the that's
Yeah,
now.
but that's I mean, Bogan, that was his thing, right? There's X amount of
Yeah,
users and only 32 cared.
all right.
But
That's
and
why I'm
yes, at
saying
first,
if it would have been accessible by just logging on to your Node account and clicking yes or no, I think
Yeah,
we would
I,
have
I
had
guess I
much
guess
higher engagement.
I'm more I mean I said my piece on the council voting for the 2025 council voting, but as for the future governance platform, I think there'd be a lot of other uses we could have on chain. We could get community sentiment on chain by having just an open votes, right? For uh envoy holders, things like that, just or for people that have maybe not even um maybe some wallet value to make sure they're at least invested in the ecosystem.
Right.
There's a
Yep.
lot of future things we can do with this that
Yeah.
so
My big thing is if your account is online, you should be voting. Similar to XGov, but for everybody that's online.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I think figure out ways to get voted, and this was discussed before for people that are staking, people that are that have Voy in various places. You know, like
Right.
people that have Voy in House of Voy or in Dorkfy, right? Like just open it up, figure out a way to just see who we could include, and just have we could have other votes that were I would really like it for like community sentiment votes, just like what
We need to
where do we
incentivize them.
what was that?
We need to incentivize the voting, maybe
Yeah. Well, even
get the
if it's
people interested.
if you have to, this one was a trial and not being available on Kinesis and things like that, and having to lock up 50K Voy, which you know, to most of us doesn't seem like a ton, but you know, to someone casual, they're just like, I'm not taking that off my node for a week or whatever they got.
30 days.
But
Yeah.
figuring out a way to just get the. It'd be nice if we could just get like a Twitter poll on steroids where we would know everyone voting was equal, and it'd be non-binding polls, you know. But I think that'd be pretty useful for us, and it would give. And especially if so, let's say there was a poll on, do you think we need on-chain tennis or something, just random, and the community sentiment was, yeah, we absolutely need it, and the council goes forward based on that sentiment. I think that would show to the community members where, you know, we're listening to them.
Yep.
And this
You know,
is what we need Coop to do.
So
He needs to talk about this.
like I said, I could
Okay,
see
so let's just let's get past was it needed, was it not needed? Okay, I think I'm okay with the reduced amount here, man. I think most of the council is as well, but I do think you probably need to go in and resubmit or rewrite, because the way I understood this, the platform is live, hosted, and continued governance for use. It will be maintained and iterated with features such as DAO leveling voting, quadratic voting, extended governance modules. To me, that says we're going to add this additional stuff, right? With this amount that you're asking.
As opposed
So
to
if you're as opposed to, I want this and then I want something else to add all this, right? So maybe resubmit with the correct wording for just the retro
Yeah.
grant, what was already done.
Totally. And the kind of the way that I was thinking when I was writing it too, and there's were kind of two possibilities with like, okay, do we go in and just do like retro grants across the board, go and build some stuff and then do some retro, do another retro, build some more things, do another retro for, you know, added features and continued maintenance? Or do we break it down and do this one and then one big build, um, you know, grant? And you know, I think that there's the other way around too, which was I think Nelson and Bogan had also recommended, and this is where I'm like, okay, any way we end up going about it, having it be the build grant, and it's like a milestone that we already hit in a larger build grant.
Yep.
You know, so it's there's that as well, but I also want to know from you guys, like, if we went in for a much larger build grant, like what, you know, what, how much bells and whistles do you want? What are the features that most excited you? What are the things that are missing? And then like how quickly do you want to turn around on it as well?
I think
I
the
think
answer.
I think
the
that
answer
would
to
be. I think that would require a much longer conversation than what we can do here as far as features.
Totally.
I know what you showed us. Was it last meeting when you demoed? That was pretty exciting, pretty cool. Especially the proposal stuff. That was nice. I think I like that a lot easier to manage and handle than what we have now. And your roadmap says Q1, buddy. So that's where I would expect it. See, so that's what I'm saying. If and this is what I was telling the guys when we were discussing it, right? Is if he's going to come back in later for a build grant, then we're kind of fucking ourselves here because you're pretty much telling us, give me the 17.5 and I'm going to give you all this. And this the way you submitted this document, that's what it says, right? So that's why I was saying. So let's just go ahead and vote on it, approve it, and then we can just say, well, this is what he told us you were going to give us, right?
Yeah.
But we're being cool because we like you, and we're making sure that Bogan is happy with what he's paying. So, but yeah, I think you do need to. If you want to do a retro grant for just what you did, for what you've already done, I'm okay with that. And I think Bogan and everybody else is okay too. But definitely, we probably need to set up another meeting to discuss and go over in more detail, and maybe even letting us test drive, give us some users that we can access the current test site that you have, just so we can play around with it.
I was just gonna say that, like, when it comes to questions about future future bells and whistles, future, how it's gonna work and all that kind of stuff, I would say just list it in a document and let the council weigh in on what they think is required, and then you can form a better cost to actually create that kind of stuff. Because if this retroactive one had been put to the council, which didn't exist at the time, we might have said, hey, one of the priorities for us is to have more wallets than just loot. We understand that the intent of it was to drive adoption of a new wallet, but it would have been better for us to have twice as many votes, based on the fact that it was just easier for people to use. Similar would be a 50,000 lockup versus a much lower lockup. We understand that the VOI at the time was being locked up as a measure to combat fraud and that kind of thing. We also, I would think we would honestly believe that the locked up VOI of 50,000 times 32, sat on a node and earned somebody some block rewards for a month, which is fine. It's just the cost of doing business. But like certain things, if they were pitched today, we would probably have some say in, and that could go and factor into the total value that's being proposed. And I think that's the way to go. I don't think the way to go is like just to keep building things and then retro it. I think it's let's all talk as a community about what we think is the most important and then just make it that way.
Sounds good. I'll revise and come back to you guys.
But I think we're all in agreement, and I believe based on our conversations earlier, that we appreciate you and Shelley putting forward the initiative to get something created. Like, we don't want Void to feel like a place where people are building and are not feeling appreciated. And it's just going to be some growing pains like this early on, especially when we're talking about retroactive grants as opposed to grants for things like you pointed out that we feel like we need and we're asking for. Anybody else?
Not regarding to this, but I do have a question for Bagman, since I think we're going to talk about the other grant that was out there, right? The grant pay.
Oh, yeah. We voted on
I
it.
think
We said,
yes. So my question now was, when can we expect that to be implemented? And
It's there.
okay,
It's
perfect.
it's live right now.
Okay, so I guess we can get we can reach out to you and figure out how to make all that shit work and get Airmed in there. Yeah.
Sweet. Hey guys, I gotta run to little anniversary dinner thing.
good.
So I'll catch you guys.
Nice. Happy anniversary.
For your time, Bagman.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bagman.
Cool. What else is on our list? Genesis Council funding, I don't know if that's much of a priority right now for Bagman, but if it comes in, it comes in. Moderator pay, we passed it. Do we know anything else about what happened with it after we passed it?
No. Let me see if I can find a Discord where EZK had messaged me.
Cool. While you're looking for that, I'm happy to keep doing the chair thing. You guys should probably just have a thought about what you think this effort is worth.
Yeah,
over time.
I was gonna bring that up too. If we thought, yeah, also for Nuss.
Yeah, I mean, because like, I think he'd probably be more motivated to do minutesy type things. I'd be more motivated to do
Hey,
like
The
more.
minutes thing, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, what you showed after the last meeting, is there any way we can use that? I mean, that seemed pretty good.
Notes I shared.
Yeah, didn't you put something in the chat?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, you
just-
can use that. Yeah, we can use that. I haven't been taking any right now, but yeah, we could definitely, if that's the format we want to do, yeah, we can use that. Yeah, that's what I do
Yeah,
for
'cause it-
work.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I'm
I don't remember seeing it. All I would say is like there's a difference for me between like having something spit out like AI notes and something spitting out something that like is a like a true synopsis of what the meeting was, so that a community member could read it and say, I've got the summary in like 5 minutes, as opposed to having to scroll through the entire like AI spit out. So that's something that for me is important. But if it's not important for everybody, I don't really want to argue about it anymore.
Do you remember what used to come in the meeting minutes when the old council was in? The notes that come with it was transcribed. Is that what you're looking for?
I think that they're
I don't think
transcribed like
I don't
AI
think we
just.
need that. Yeah, I think we just need. Look, I can take notes. I didn't think about taking any today. I can take some over in here. Just don't expect me to do a lot of talking, but I can take them. I'm a PM for a living, so I'm used to taking notes, and like just like the ones I sent, where you have that action items, what was discussed, and points underneath that. It'll give you a pretty good summary of the meeting. And then if you guys take any, then you can add any additional ones, and I'll just pass them around.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
think that would work.
Okay. Uh, who was going to go look for something? I completely forgot.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. EZK. I'm there, man.
How about the Constitution edit situation? Are we getting closer to a point where we need like the whole group to start weighing in on stuff?
Okay, so EZK was looking for the vote for the Voya Election Council platform, so it did not get in there yet. But I sent him the link for our voting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he
So that's
needs
it.
he needs something.
So that's why I was just thinking. I got this on my notes. So I don't know how EZK knows when to start that or token request out. So I was going to DM him after we got off this meeting about it.
I'm pretty sure in Fury's proposal, it said October was going to be the 3-person, and then November is when it kicks back down to the 2 moderator pay.
Yeah, it was only for like that 1 month or whatever that there was no.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's all we have to do is just clarify that, so he can start paying it out. Like, let's just clarify it.
Okay.
The intent was that what's his name was going to have basically just the remaining time up until the thing was passed, and then after that, there was just going to be 2 months.
Yep.
Okay.
I shared in the council chat the thing that Zarmi in here has sent us. Zarmi, do you want to get up and talk about this thing? We're about to be done and kind of into just kind of chit chat. Bogan, I think you got to go.
Yep, I got a header right now, so I'll be back on once I get in the truck in about 20 minutes. If you guys are doing a space or anything tonight, but yeah, I gotta go. And yeah, good meeting. Thank you guys.
Later, man.
Yeah, the swap aggregator that he provided is interesting looking. I'm hoping that he's around and wants to talk about it. Otherwise, you guys can check it out on your own time. Do not search for an Urban Dictionary definition of this word, but looks clean.
Back
Hey,
to
so,
the
I was going to say back to the Bagman's proposal. So just to be clear, we was telling him that 10 million was okay. Just redo his proposal. Just write it to update it
You know,
to what we talked about.
I didn't chime in, but I did like the idea of having the proposal just be a reached milestone on a separate build grant, because like I said, the value to the ecosystem for that particular 2025 council election, not 17 million, but I mean, as I said before, I think the value of having this governance plus platform, because it's not, there's be a lot more for it, is pretty high.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, like I'd say pay him the 10 million. It's not that much, especially given the current price. It shows initiative. It's something that I think the foundation, the building blocks are there to provide like benefit for this future thing we're talking about. And we can always just take a look at it and say, hey, we've already paid you 10 million for the underlying code for this. So, the future work is going to be reflective of that. But I think, like I said earlier, the biggest thing is just ensuring that whatever they're building is going to be something that we need.
Yeah, that's why I suggested we set up a meeting, and if he can give us access to use, like either way, if it's just 1 or 2 users, so we can test drive it and then give feedback from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Dave said he's
All right.
busy. Can't get up and talk, but
All right.
builders meeting. Wow, Dave, you're going to talk about this at a time when no one can join. Good job.
Good call. I'll get back to the Constitution.
Yeah.
Nust, you had said you had made some notes, but I'm really new to Google Docs.
Actually, I need to go through it, and they're on paper.
Okay. I was like, okay.
My bad. I'll get them in there though. I'll work on that.
Yeah, I think after thinking about it, it's probably not as high a priority as I originally thought it was. We seem to be functioning pretty well. That was just kind of that's what I was thinking while I was on my cruise.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, yes, there's some areas we should check the block on.
We should get the low hanging fruit and immediate things that are contradicted, in how things actually go.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I was just considering Brett, who maybe it was Haruf, we were saying about the like the council pay. In the end, it doesn't really matter, because that's what the block authority was the one initiated. So I was, I guess is the word. There's a better word.
I'm sorry. What is this about?
Edits.
Oh yeah. So I started writing notes. So
yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's just begin to wrap it up then. The bottom line, I guess, is that kind of dig into that a little bit more, but not with any kind of speed. We still have questions about the old relay node payouts. I have that on the list here that we didn't really figure out. I guess it's on Block Authority. We also don't have it on the list of items tonight, but I should have put on the fact that we all agreed that that the core code update was a necessity and that it was on the Block Authority to push it forward, right?
Yes. Can we put that as an action item to follow up with Gov on that?
Yeah,
Do you want to do that, or should somebody else?
I'll put it in here. Okay. And what else? Anybody else have anything else?
Now, just for quick action items that I have from this meeting. Bagman to resubmit retro grant. Council will let Coop know availability so we can meet with him. Constitution rewrite needs to get moving, but not priority. I'm just gonna put no rush. And then Haruf to follow up with Gov regarding upgrade on BA nodes.
Yep.
Upgrade and BA nodes. Okay.
And
Yeah.
we got to figure out pay for Haruf and Nuss.
And final link to the grant release thing so we can get Aramid in there so that Gov doesn't have to do it manually.
Yeah, can we get okay. Who wants to champion that the grant pay stuff with do that, or me and you can do it, Haruf, if you want, just to reach out to.
I'm happy to help. I know that, I mean, the biggest thing is for this first one, we just need to ensure that it gets into the contract and that the contract reaches Aramid. And I've got a good line with Daniel, so I'm happy to talk to him about it. But it seems like they just need to load the funding into the contract and then issue it to Aramid's wallet, right?
That's my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, well, I couldn't know any more than that until I see the product or Shelly tells me that that's not how it works. So
I'm assuming that would include council and everything else too, right?
it
Once we
should,
get the, yeah, okay.
it should potentially include some of Block Authority's VOI as well. It was something that's not required of them, but we could recommend that they also include. Yeah,
Okay.
there's amounts that they have that are supposed to be time released, and yeah, I mean, I trust them to time release it, but if they wanted to, they could put it in there.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I think that's
Okay.
it.
I think that's it. Perfect.
Yeah.